Y'all are so amazing. Y'all are so amazing. Let's give it up for the praise team and the band, the music ministry led by Sonia Trejo. Sonia is such a blessing and such an inspiration because I remember them telling me um, a couple months ago, that they had always wanted to be to form a band for a spiritual community, for a church, and always wanted to be a music minister. Really, is what you're doing. And if you're not a musician, you may not know that it's not likely or typical for a drummer to be in that role. Usually, it's someone who plays piano who's in that role, you know. But what I saw in Sonia the first time I ever saw Sonia perform was the presence of God playing through her, through them. And I saw it the very first time we ever met, and I saw you play. And you are just so magnificent and wonderful, and I'm grateful for your presence here. Yeah. Music is a big part of ministry, for me anyway. The music matters, and the feel of the music matters, how you feel. That was one of my lessons at Agape, is it's the consciousness with which the music is played. You can have someone who's a total virtuoso, which you are, but you can have someone who has the chops, total virtuoso, but you don't feel it. It sounds great, but you don't feel it, right? And then you have ministry with music, which is the music is ministering, it's moving, it's reshaping, it's inspiring, it's touching at the deepest levels, it's healing. It is healing. So thank you for bringing that here. I did not know it would happen so fast. Did not know it would happen so fast. Beautiful. And Rodrigo, you are just amazing, amazing. Oh my goodness. I feel you. I feel you're playing massive part of this music ministry. And the praise team, Lauren and Jenna, I feel your heart. I feel spirit through the song. Just beautiful, beautiful music ministry. So thank you so much, y'all. Just had to love y'all up some. So, hey, y'all. Oh, today is our last Sunday in February. And also, our 1 month anniversary was on the 19th, on Wednesday. Can you believe our 1 month anniversary was on Wednesday? And it feels like we have been here all the time. You know, it feels like we have just been here for a long time. So, what a blessing. What a blessing. And it's so good to see everyone. So, this month, I've been talking about fearless living, conscious loving. And today I want to talk about love pains, birthing a beloved community. Birthing a beloved community. And so the beloved community is a term that was coined by a philosopher who I cannot remember, but it was really shaped and used by Dr. Martin Luther King. So he's really known for talking about the beloved community. And in the beloved community that Dr. King described, it's this community where it's grounded and rooted in agape love, which we talked about last week, right? So romantic love is sort of this lovey-dovey love that you have with a romantic partner, but agape love is the highest form of love. It is the way God loves, right? The way God loves, unconditional, unfettered, right? Cannot be shaken, cannot be changed. It is the way that God loves each of us. And so the beloved community, as Dr. King described it, is rooted in agape love. And there's some defining characteristics of this community, and I'm just going to give some highlights. But basically, what Dr. King was saying is that it is a community that is practical, realistic, and achievable, and it's a community where we all have a shared desire to be peaceful and happy and safe, right? And that this is possible for us to create that. It is a community where, yes, there is conflict, but if there's conflict, we find ways to solve it in nonviolent ways, right? Or find ways to solve it and come to a solution where all sides are respected. You may not agree, but you have conflict, and yet there's a respectful way to be engaged in that conflict. In the beloved community, according to Dr. King, we recognize the interdependence of all things, right? We are all interconnected. We are all interdependent. And so what happens to one happens to all, right? We're not, no one's isolated. No group is isolated. No system is isolated. We saw a little taste of that during COVID, where COVID hits and things that we had no idea were connected, like, getting toilet paper or whatever, right? With things that we had no idea were connected, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, look how interconnected we are on these very real levels. And so in the beloved community, Dr. King talked about the interdependent nature of all of life so that we appreciate, recognize, and value the inherent worth of all people, right? This is what he talked about in the beloved community, where there is kindness. Notice he didn't say nice, which that's a whole other talk I'll give. But there's kindness and compassion and love for all of life that motivates our actions, right? And so then we can peacefully find ways to end hunger, to end climate change, to end racism, sexism, all the isms, right? And it means that we co-create this kind and compassionate and just community, right? So that was Dr. King's vision, this beloved community. And on the last Sunday we have before leaving Black History Month, I think it's important to really get that not only is he describing something that may sound like a utopia, he said it's achievable. It is achievable. And if you look at Centers for Spiritual Living, our vision, the vision of the global centers, is a world that works for all, right? It's the same thing. We're talking about the same thing, right? And so at once we have this concept, this idea, this ideal of the beloved community, right? And yet, here we are facing some things that don't look like that, right? We are facing things that don't look like that. We are right now in economic turmoil and whiplash from all the different changes that are happening. Our structures are shaking, right? The very structures that created this country, that is a country about establishing, or the ideal of the country is about a more perfect union, right? A way for each of us to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And yet we see and we sense and we feel these incredible structures beginning to shake. Yes. So there's a lot going on, a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of feeling powerless, feeling like there's these massive forces that are happening that are beyond our ability to control. It feels completely overwhelming at times, right? Quaking in our boots at times. Yes. But what if we were to reframe what's happening now, and we reframe it as us going through a birth process versus a death process, right? What happens if we reframe this as, oh, wait, we're giving birth. We're giving birth to something, right? Then it becomes something different. What if this chaos is actually creation? What if there's actually something, anyone here who's an artist or has created something or given birth or built a business, any of these things are a form of giving birth, right? Anyone who's done that knows it can feel chaotic. There can be times where it feels overwhelming and chaotic, and actually it's the creative process happening, yeah? So what if we reframe it as this chaos is actually creation? What if we're not witnessing the end of the world, but we're witnessing the birth of a new world, right? We're witnessing the birth of a new world. And for anyone who has given birth of any type, you know that that birth signifies a death, right? There's an ending of something. When someone becomes a mother, they are no longer not a mother, right? That becomes the end of that time in their life. Right? When someone builds a business or builds or creates a piece of art, they are no longer who they were when they started that creation. They're different and changed and transformed on the other end of it, right? And so I want us to really be in this new frame of thinking that we are actually birthing a new world, and that is what is happening all around us. Right? That is what is happening all around us. And, birth is messy, and it's traumatic, and it's scary, and it's dangerous, right? And a lot of pain. And sometimes folks don't make it. But most times they do, or we wouldn't all be here, right? So I want to share with you a story of my birth. So for those of you online, I want you to know the entire front row over here was like, oh, right. I love it. Do it one more time, y'all. Okay. Oh my goodness. So, typical to form, true to form, I was due to be born in October, and I was born in August. And my mom thought that she was having a miscarriage, or the doctors thought when she got rushed to the hospital that she was having a very late term miscarriage. And so the nurses induced her with some kind of medication for labor to go through that process. She was in pain for over 20 hours. And my mom said at one point she woke up from all the grogginess and the medication and the pain. And so I'm going to get a little graphic here, so y'all just be with me on this. And so she told her mom that she felt something between her legs. She felt something. And my grandmother took a look and turned white as a ghost, my mom said, and went and got the doctors. And so they gave my mom some more medication. They knocked her out. Now, I was born in a little town called Evergreen, Alabama. I was born post civil rights, but it was still a little town in Alabama. So they did not have a surgeon at that hospital. There was just a general doctor at the hospital. And so they gave my mom some medication to sort of knock her out and figure out what to do because they did not have a surgeon. They needed a surgeon. And my mom said when she came to again that there was a man by her bedside, a white man, who said to her, my name is Dr. Hollis and I'm here to help you. And Dr. Hollis went through the process of me being born, which meant that the next thing he had to do was tell my mom and my dad, tell my grandmother, my mother's mother, and my father, that he could only save one of us. And what did they want to do? Because only one of us could survive. And I don't know what I think my dad did not say anything, probably. My grandmother said, save my daughter, she can have another child. And despite all that, I was born at 4 pounds, 2 ounces. And I had to stay in the hospital for a month, trying to get to 5 pounds. I still didn't get there, but they let me go home at 4.9 ounces. Little side note for those of you who have premature children, don't worry, your kids will fill out. I'm proof of that. Don't worry about a thing. And so that began my journey with my parents, right? My birth. Here's the part that my mom found out later. Dr. Hollis was a surgeon who lived in Mississippi, and he was moving to Alabama, where he had a twin brother who was also a doctor. And he was going to move to Alabama to another county, and was, just looking for where the hospital they might need a surgeon. And when he was on the highway, he was passing through Conecuh County, which is where my family was. And he saw a sign for a hospital, and he pulled off and said, "Oh, I think I'll stop here and see, if they want to hire a surgeon, if they need a surgeon." When he walked into the hospital, they grabbed him and was like, "We have this woman who we need a surgeon, because we don't have a surgeon here." And Dr. Hollis delivered me. And I think he stayed in Evergreen for like another year or so, because my mom said postnatal visits, she and my dad and me went back to see him. But that was my birth. But here's the thing that's extraordinary. This is in Alabama. Several years before that, I would have probably died. Both of us would have probably died because a white doctor would not have worked on my mom. She wouldn't have even been allowed in the hospital, right? So the point I'm making is this. Birth can be a scary thing. It can be a life-threatening thing. It can be a shattering thing. And it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And so if we look right now at our world and what's happening in our world, And it's scary, and it's ugly, and it's dangerous, and we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know how we're going to make it through, if we're going to make it through. But I'm here to tell you that we can make it through. We can make it through. This is a birth process that we are in, and we are birthing love. We are birthing love. I believe with all of my being that what we are seeing now, as I've said, y'all who've been with me for the last couple of years know I have been saying this, we are seeing this massive, what old school religious science call chemicalization. It means that when there's a big influx or movement towards a higher consciousness, everything unlike that must come up, right? It must come up, right? And so the things that we're seeing now on television are things that may upset some of us, right? And for others, it is not upsetting, but the things that upset some of us or make us feel so off kilter, these are not new things, they're just visible, right? A lot of the things we're seeing right now, this is not new, it's visible. It's coming up to the surface so we can see it and we have choice. How are we going to live? What are our values? You know, in the business community, I've talked to a few clients who I don't share political views with, but we're still very close and very connected. And many of them have said to me that character doesn't matter. It's really about the money, right? Who's going to make a better economic situation for me and my family and for my grandkids? And so we're at a point now where character doesn't matter. I've heard this multiple times. I just had a conversation the other day where someone's like, well, yeah, you know, this stuff may be illegal the way they're doing it, but you know what? When I dealt with this business entity, with my business, they did this and they did that, and so they need to clean everything up. And so here's the point I'm making, y'all, is that it's not about morality, right? Because we can't moralize the change. It's about consciousness. Here's what I mean. When we are clean and clear about the things that matter to us, about our values, when we are clean and clear about money, because that's really driving a lot of what we're seeing, right? A lot of what we're seeing is toxic money energy, right? When we clean that up for ourselves in spaces like this, we become places where there's healthiness around that, where there's consciousness around that, where there's light around how money is used, not as a weapon, not as something to hoard, because we live in an abundant universe, right? But it's something to use and to flourish and to prosper and to share if you choose to do that, right? And so right now, we're in this place and space where there's something wanting to birth. There is not wanting, it is birthing. A new world is birthing. And the really important question is, as the midwives, what do we do? Right? What is ours to do as the midwives of this world? Because we can have it any way we choose it, right? Any way we choose it. It is our collective consciousness that is out picturing. It is our collective consciousness. So that's not to mean that individually you're behaving in bad ways, but it is to mean that if stuff is not cleaned up in our own consciousness individually, then collectively we support toxicity. Are y'all following what I'm saying here? Yeah? And so that's why even the 4T class is so important, because it is helping clean up the consciousness around money. It's a 12-step program, literally. Right? Helping clean up the consciousness, helping get healthiness around money, and most importantly, recognizing God as the source of all things, right? God as the source. Because this birth is going to have a lot of different kind of labor pains happening, right? And a lot of kind of different things going on. And what we will need to know is God as the source. Not the government, not a job, not our retirement, not the stock market, not our family, whatever, right? We have to know God is the source, and it comes through the source resources us through these different channels. But God is the source, right? And so really birthing that, when we get to that, then we can actually have a beloved world and a beloved community, not before. Because if man is the source, or this company is the source, or we're worshiping mammon, right? We're worshiping false idols. That's what that means. We put something else as the source that's not the source. It's the channel. We confuse the channel with the source. Yeah? So this is the work that we are doing here to birth this beloved community. And I just bring up money because next month that is what we're talking about, because we got to get cleaned up and we have to get anchored in the truth, because there are things coming and things happening that we need to be anchored in what our source really is and be able to access that. All right. So let's talk about how to midwife in. Are y'all following what I'm saying here today? Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. What does a midwife do, right? What does a midwife do? So a midwife helps facilitate the birth of this beloved child. Yes? And so in order to do that, a midwife has to do certain things. First of all, the midwife has to stay calm under pressure, right? So if we're midwifing our own personal lives, or we're midwifing this vision, this new world, this beloved community that is coming forward, then we have to stay calm and present under pressure. How calm are y'all staying? I hear real calm and then I hear laughter. Okay. So my guess is there's a range of right, and then there's the roller coaster, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah, yeah. It's like we got to stay calm and present amid the intensity, because if you think it's intense now, it's really gonna get intense. It's really gonna get intense, and this is a marathon, right? This is a marathon. So we have to be calm and steady and finding ways to do that through our spiritual practice, through classes, through community, by surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, taking classes so that throughout the week you're plugged into something. This is not the time to fly solo. This is not the time to isolate. This is not the time to just go hang out with your friends who want to do happy hour, right? This is not that time, because you're a midwife. Who on earth wants a midwife who's hung out doing happy hour and is checked out, right? I don't think that's a good thing. Another thing a midwife does is encourage the one giving birth to keep going even when it feels impossible, right? Even when it feels like I can't save both of you. I can't save both of you, right? And many a midwife has been in that position throughout history, because childbirth is a serious thing, right? And so many a midwife has been where, I can't save either of them. But to the one giving birth, to the mother, the midwife is saying, you got it. You got it. Keep breathing. Keep going. It's okay, right? The midwife isn't going, oh my God, you're going to die. You're going to die. You are bleeding everywhere and you're just going to die. I don't think you have enough energy to do this. I think I'm going to post on Facebook that you're going to die, right? I think I'm going to put on Facebook now that, yep, you don't have what it takes to push this baby out. I'm going to put that on Facebook, right? But that's what we're doing. Like, that's what we're doing when we're stoking this negative energy. As a midwife, no. We're here to encourage the ones giving birth. That means all of us, we're all giving birth. So we're here to encourage ourselves and to know the truth about ourselves and to encourage each other, right? And sometimes that means a course correction. I'm not talking about spiritual bypass, right? Sometimes it means a course correction. Sometimes it's like, stop pushing, right? And sometimes it's like, push with everything you got, right? And sometimes it's like, oh my God, just breathe. You did a great job. Yeah. So my invitation to you is, how can you be an encourager to yourself and to the one that is giving birth, which is you and everyone around you, right? Another thing that the midwife does is the midwife trusts the process, right? Trusts the body to have the wisdom and the intelligence to know what it needs to do. It is amazing. I see Dr. Damon back there nodding his head. The body is an amazing instrument. It is divinely intelligent. It was created by the all-intelligent, right? AI has nothing on the body. Computers that man can make has nothing on the body. It is amazing as an instrument, right? And it knows what to do. In the birth process, it knows exactly what to do. It knows exactly how to do that. There is a process for how that's going to happen. And we cannot jumpstart that process. We can't skip that process, right? You can't give birth if you have not had a period of gestation, right? So many times people want to give birth. It's like, you haven't even been pregnant with that idea, right? Like all of a sudden you're just like, boom, right? And so what the midwife knows is that there is a divine process at play. The body is smart and it knows exactly what to do. And the midwife understands the process, understands, okay, now we're at this stage. Oh, now we're at this stage. Okay, now here comes this stage. And so the midwife knows is not freaking out, right? Is not freaking out because it knows the steps in the process. And so for each of us, I'm asking you to look around, look in your life. If you look at your life and look through a time where you've gone through a massive change or transformation, a powerful transformation, look at what that process was for you, right? It usually started with some kind of catalyst, right? Something catalyzed that change to happen, right? And then you went through all the different steps, and it may have been a struggle. Usually, transformation, deep transformation, there's some kind of struggle. There's something you have to overcome, right? There's obstacles in your way. There's things you have to learn. There's things you have to do, right? There's a whole process for how change happens. If you look at your individual life and then just look at the collective, you'll see we're in a change process. We're in a change process. We're in a birth process. And in many ways, this process knows, the beloved community knows how to birth itself. The divine presence knows how to birth itself. Love knows how to birth itself. But as human beings, when we are closed off or shut down, or, we have free will. We have free will. So we can take the scenic route that takes millennia to heal and rise, or we can take the fast route. Or we can take the fast route, then it scares us, then we take the scenic route. Right? Right? But the process is going to unfold. Life evolves. We cannot stop that. Love will have the final word. We cannot stop that. God is all powerful and will have its way. We cannot stop that. But we can delay it and make it really painful for us and everybody else. Right? By buying into fear, listening to fear, acting out of fear. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of fear, right? Because love is birthing, and so fear is freaking out. You're seeing a lot of last chance, last grasp, grasping for straws, right? Grasping like a drowning person is what we're observing right now. But we know a drowning person will take you down with them, right? So this is the time for us to trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process and understand where we are at any given time so that you're not part of the freak out brigade and freak out consciousness. The other thing that a midwife does is hold space for new life. Hold space for new life. So right now, how frequently are you holding space for a new life in your life? How frequently are you holding space for new life in our country? How frequently are you holding space for new life on the planet? And I don't mean just any new life, because we can, we're creative beings. We will birth a new life. Is it the life we really want to experience? Right? So my invitation to you as midwives is to take a breath and be holding the vision for a beloved community, right? Where all different kinds of people can come together, respected and valued, loved, and where we are kind, not nice, because that's performative. I don't like it. But kind is real. That's authentic behavior, right? Where we're kind. And if we have conflicts, we resolve it. We're going to have conflicts. We're humans. We're human beings. And where there's human beings, there's human consciousness. Conflict is a part of that. But where we're able to have healthy, conscious conflict and then move on and build from that. Where we're able to be in relationship with each other in ways that are not about competition, not about domination, not about termination, right? Not about sameness, but we can celebrate each other's uniqueness, right? This is absolutely possible. If it were not possible, we would not yearn for it. If it were not possible, there would be no term called the beloved community. God doesn't express anything that we as humans are not possible of doing. It would not express. if it was not possible. So it's possible for us to anchor this in, but it requires us to show up differently. And it requires us in this room to show up differently because we have the knowledge of what needs to happen. We are the best midwives for the future. Not people who are in fear, not people who are trying to dominate, not people who are trying to subjugate. Those are not the best midwives for our future. But if we abdicate our position, if we get caught up in the fear, if we tip over into that energy, tip over into powerlessness, then we just abdicate that position so that, people can create whatever future they want collectively. And then we're on the very long road, the very, very long, scenic, painful road to the beloved community. Are y'all following what I'm saying here? Yeah. So this is what I need us to be doing, and what this community needs to be about is about understanding that we are midwifing an incredible future if we choose to. This is our assignment, should we choose to accept it. Right? That we have the power to midwife the actual future we want collectively. But we have to start individually. And we have to start in this room. And we've got to clean our stuff up. Right? And I'm giving you right now notice. I'm talking about money next month because we need to get this stuff cleaned up. We've got to get cleaned up around this issue and bring it out to the forefront. So if this is not your jam, don't show up next month. But we have got to get to God is the source, and it comes through channels, and not worship the channel. Not worship the channel. Right? That is the root of all evil. It's the worshiping of the channels. It's not money. Money's energy. Right? Are y'all with me on this? Yeah? So this is what we're doing. So I want you to just to take a deep breath with me here, and we're going to do this affirmation together. We'll do a call and response. I know, right? I hear a lot of heavy sighing. Y'all good? Okay. All right. So we are birthing love. I am a midwife of a beloved community. I trust that the pain I see in the world is not the end. It is the beginning. I stay present. I push with purpose. I breathe love into chaos. I hold the vision of a world made new through love. Love is being born through me. Love is being born as me. Love is being born all around me. And so it is.